scrubbing, makeup stays on, forget the wipes and choose Garnier #1 Micellar Cleansing Water. Our
Good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If you can hear me, please clap once. Clap twice. I know you can hear me. It is so wonderful to see so many faces in this room on time. I had told the organizers that, hey, if we start by 7, that will be a miracle. But it's really good that you have proved me wrong. I would like to start us off by just going out to have a cup of tea. We'll be sitting in here for until 8 o'clock. So if you haven't had something small to bite, something to drink, please feel free to find your way out. The tea and coffee stations are ready, and we will invite you back in 10 minutes. We're waiting for a few guests to arrive so that we can start together with them. So karibuni, please find your way out, have something to bite, and we will be starting with the official program in 10 minutes. A bit of housekeeping. For those of you who would like to use the washroom, they are downstairs. They're not on this floor, so find your way downstairs and you will find ladies and gents washrooms.
Sasuzokushintshela esikhaleni uyomufica ekhohlwe usekhona ayemngani leyo ndaba ebuhlungu kunzima ukuthanda umuntu sasuzokushintshela esikhaleni uyomufica ekhohlwe usekhona
If you are outside and you can hear me, please find your way in. We would like to begin in the next 2 minutes. So those of you still having your tea, your coffee, your bitings, you need to scoff them down and find your way in here. As soon as possible, we would like to start together. Please find your way in. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening once again. I am waiting for the lights to be sorted out. I am told we are going live and I need to look my best self. So it's like lighting, guys. Do I look nice like this? How do I look this way? I'm this way. Okay. And when they give me a go ahead, we will be live. Those of you who are outside, if you can hear me, we are going to start. My name is Chichi Sei, and I am your MC for this evening. It is my absolute pleasure to be MCing tonight for this book launch. It's so good to see many faces here. I had said earlier that I'd spoken to the organizer and said, "Hi, Kenyans. We are going to be starting at about 7:30. But you have all proved me wrong. You have even had time to have a cup of tea. And those of you who did not have a cup of tea will have a small break somewhere in between. And I will make sure you get a chance to put something in your stomach. So welcome, welcome, welcome. And maybe you can turn to the person next to you and say, welcome to this book launch. I am hearing some very shady voices. I said it nicely. I said, welcome to this book launch. Welcome to the book launch of Ripples in the Pool. And people have gone quiet. Welcome to the book launch of Ripples in the Pool. On behalf of the organizers, it's a very big, warm welcome to each one of you. This book, Ripples in the Pool, is a literary masterpiece by Rebeka Njau, and we're going to be hearing a lot more about it as the evening progresses. I see friends of the family, I see friends of Rebeka Njau, I see friends from the University of Nairobi, I see friends from book clubs, and so there are quite a number of really smiling, lovely faces to be talking to today. It makes me so at ease and so pleased to be here with you. I would like to give special recognition to some of our esteemed guests. So if we have from the University of Nairobi, Dr. Muleka, if you're here, if you'd please stand, would like to recognize you. Dr. Makau Kitata, Professor Miriam Musonye, and Professor Jennifer Mushiri. I know you are here because I said hello to you. If you'd please stand, we would like to welcome you specially, just to recognize you. Thank you, thank you. You can take your seats. Tonight's program is going to be fantastic, that I can assure you. It is lined with lively performances. It's got speeches, it's got excerpt readings, question and answer sessions. We even have a photo op. You know, we have some enactments of different parts of the book, and the actual reveal, of course, of the book. So people sit tight. It's going to be a very interesting night. Before I hand over this mic, I would just like to take the opportunity to thank and recognize our sponsors. We have 3 sponsors for this evening, without whom this night would not be possible. First, we have the Department of Literature at the University of Nairobi. And although I see a number of students here, a number of you are not also from the University of Nairobi, so I'll tell you a little bit about this department. It was established in 1956, and its mission is to be a leading center of learning, scholarship, and professional development. They aim to extend the frontiers of knowledge through research and creative works. The Department of Literature's objective is to produce holistic graduates prepared for a life of purpose, service, and leadership. So the graduates over here, that's what we've been told. I'm reading what I was given. Purpose, service, and leadership. So you people out there, and we are told that you're graduates from the Department of Literature at the University of Nairobi, then we know we have purpose, we have service, and we have leadership in you. This department offers 5 programs. They have a Bachelor of Arts in Literature, Performing Arts, Bachelor of Education in Literature, a Master's, and a PhD in Literature. That's our first sponsor. Our second sponsor today is also from the University of Nairobi. They are called the Traveling Theatre. They are incorporated within the Department of Literature, and they serve as the performing and outreach arm of the department. The UNTT, as they're called, is dedicated to nurturing talents in creative and performing arts by staging world-class quality performances and entertainment that are both educational and inspiring. UNTT, we are glad not to just have you as sponsors, but you are here as performers. They are here as performers in tonight's program, and we look forward to your world-class performance, as we are told. Aren't we like world-class performance? How does that make you feel? For me, I'm like, ooh, I'm glad to be here today. World-class performance. Is Dr. Kimingichi Wabene in the house? If you would please stand. We know that this, oh, there you are, you're hidden behind. Thank you. He leads the UNTT. We are glad to have you here with us. Thank you very much. Our third sponsor is the RMV 23 Recording Studio and Entertainment Company. Its mission is to provide talented Kenyans with a platform to fulfill their dreams and showcase their God-given talents within the entertainment ecosystem. They know that many individuals, both young and old, lack the means and resources for studio sessions or exposure to major international collaborations. Therefore, they aim to bridge the gap between conception and execution. RMV 23 will be digitizing Kenyan literary works, creating audiobooks, and producing short stories for children, enriching the cultural landscape and making literature more accessible. A heartfelt thank you to all our sponsors. Thank you. Thank you for making this night possible. At this point, I would just like to welcome Professor Miriam Musonye. She is going to introduce the author of Ripples in the Pool. As she comes, I will tell you a little bit about Professor Musonye. I know that she is the chair of the Department of Literature at the University of Nairobi. She is also a published author. She's a storyteller, and she's a believer in the beauty of literary art and its ability to illuminate issues. Karibu sana, Professor.
Thank you so much. You make it sound so good. I wanted to stand there and continue listening. But my task here is a very pleasurable one because I've been given the task of introducing the author whose work we are celebrating tonight. Our author is our very own Rebeka Njau, and we will get to see her at some point as we will be directed by the MC. I'll just tell you a little bit about her, which is in the public domain, so I think I'm okay. She's our very own. She was born in Kiambu in 1932, and she grew up during the tumultuous years of the emergency and the colonial period. She went to Alliance Girls, and it's good to note that she was one of the only 14 girls admitted during the inaugural year of that school. Isn't that cool? Yes. I think you clap at that point. And then she went to Makerere University for her university studies. And many of you here will be happy to know that she attended the 1962 Conference of African Writers, and I will add, of English expression. Many literary scholars refer to that as a very seminal conference. We keep referring back to it. We have somebody who was in that conference in the room tonight. Yay, that's great. So she's seated here with us, and we are very proud of that fact. She has published many works, and I will mention a few. Plays. She has a play called The Scar. It's published in 1963. She has another one called In the Round, published in 1964. Then she has novels, Ripples in the Pool, which we are talking about tonight. She has The Sacred Seed, 2003, and short stories, for example, The Hypocrite and Other Stories, and also some poetry, including a poem called The Villager, among others. And she also has life writing, a memoir called Mirrors of My Life. Here is an author who has written across the genres: novels, short stories, poetry, plays, life writing. Clap for her. I think she's done great. So Mama Rebeka Njau is a living legend. Let me tell you, she is the first generation of African writers. And it's not many of us in our generation who have got to meet an author. Many of us hear of Ngugi wa Thiong'o, but we haven't actually met him, right? She's a contemporary. They were in that conference together in 1962, I can tell you that. So it's a great honor to be seated in her presence tonight because we know that she has a lot of experience and we need to be celebrating her. And so I'm really honored to introduce her tonight. We may hear more, but I think that is what I want to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Musonye. When I was given your name, I actually expected to find somebody or to meet somebody who looks a lot older, and I said, this is the professor. Am I sure? Thank you so much for that introduction. As I said, today's lineup of events is going to be exciting. We have excerpt readings, we have enactments, we have speeches, and so I'm just in order because I realize that we are not doing very well for time. And for those of you who went out for tea, it is apologies on my end that I sent you for tea, not knowing that you cannot bring it back in here. So that has delayed us a little bit longer. But because we are a little bit pressed for time, what we can do is we will have the different events or the different things on our program. If we could have, we will start with Kevin. You are here, right? And the UNTT, your first enactment, you will come straight after Kevin, and then we will have Hannah Njau Okolo next, and then UNTT, we will have you again at the end. So if we could have all of these come together one after the other, I will not come up and introduce you, but because we are starting with Kevin, I will introduce you as you come. I think, Kevin, as you come, Kevin Minor, this is a face, a handsome face that is quite well known. And Kevin is a performing artist, he's an actor, he's a poet, and he's a journalist. And when I heard Kevin was going to be speaking, I'm like, hey, Kevin Minor, because if you have heard his poetry, it's quite something. When he's waxing lyrical about love, women, and all things beautiful, he is known as Mastermind. When he's on TV as an actor in the well-known series Single Kiasi on Showmax, he's known as Richie. And then when he's at work at Nation Media, he's known as We Kijana. Kevin Minor, the floor is yours.
A fun fact, this is my second Rebeka Njau event. I did her book reading back in 2021. I was just a boy then. Now I'm a man. So please get yourselves comfortable. We're about to read an excerpt that I hope you'll enjoy, as I have, reading it so many times. And without much further ado, I will begin. When Gikere's mother heard that her son had taken a wife and had married her without her approval, and when she realized who the woman was, she locked herself up in her house and wept for days. Finally, she decided to leave the village and visit her son in the city and see the bride. When she got to her son's house, she called him aside. "Why did you choose her, my son?" she asked. "I love her, mother. But do you know her well? Do you know her people? I know she loves me. That is all that matters. You must know her background. You must know her people. She's not a simple woman. You do not know her. She associates only with rich men. Do you know why she has decided to get married to a poor man like you? She married me because she loves me. She does not love you. She does not know what love is. Leave her before you involve yourself too much in her kind of life. I cannot leave her. She's carrying my child." "That is not a problem. We can take away the child even if it is we can take away the child if it is ever born. But I cannot abandon her. Think again, my son. A woman like Selina is not good for you. There are many women in the village, women who understand how to live with a man. Selina will never be one of us. Leave her alone. I cannot do that. I need her. She has a lot of money. I need her money. I can use it. We will do many things together. A village woman cannot understand my work. Selina is a nurse, and I'm a hospital assistant. We will build a clinic in the village together. That is my greatest dream. I must establish a clinic before my days are over. That is very important to me. But do you know where she comes from, my son? She comes from this one will take me a while. She comes from Karua. Is that all you know? Isn't that enough? You must know more than that. A woman with money is not good for you. She will ruin your life. I love her, and I cannot desert her now. Why not, my son? I am committed to her, mother. Then you will suffer all your life, and you will make us all suffer. Your children will be punished for sins they never committed. Do you want this to happen, my son? This will never happen, my son. Selina's past is important. Her people are important to your marriage. Do you know that her own mother had fits? Do you know that the woman you say you love used to suffer from fits during her childhood and was once raped as she lay unconscious by the roadside? And do you know that she was a woman of loose morals? Do you know all these things, my son? Do you know why no man has ever suggested marriage to her? She has turned away a great number of men who have wanted to marry her. That is not true. She is not a fool. She doesn't want anyone to know that she is not wanted. So, when she discovers that her lover is just about to abandon her, she jilts him before he does. That is how she keeps men cheated. I do not believe this. I know people are jealous of her. That is why they tell tales about her. I don't care whether she suffered from fits in her childhood. She is my wife. And that is all I'm interested in now. Good man, right? I can see that you're lost, my son. I have lost you. Lost everything. When your father deserted us, I hoped that you would be my support during my old age. I hoped you and I would find joy in each other. You were so close to me once, but now I can see you moving away. I can see you have found another mother and you want to desert me. Gashiru is the only person I'm left with, but she too will go away. I know that. I know there is no happiness for an old woman like me. I'm alone in the village. My piece of land is full of weeds. My hands shake when I take a knife to turn the soil. What will happen to the land I have worked on so long? I thought that one day you would come back to live with me and my grandchildren, would help me to overcome the loneliness of old age. But now you have chosen a woman of the city, and I have lost you. You have chosen a conceited woman, and I know she will bring you nothing but misery. Thank you.
began. The fig tree. I must check on the fig tree. Oil hasn't been sprinkled around it. Quickly, before the sun fully rises, I must tend to one of the daily routine, left undone. Karuga! Karuga! The carelessness of this boy. How could he forget such an important duty? Or could Karuga be near the pool? Could he have gone to test what he had last night? And why could he have left even without a word? He left even before the gods were let out. He could be at the river. This river that nourishes our plants, and yet it carries secrets. Locusts have nibbled at our plants, leaving cracks and holes at every strong maize plant before it flowers. Just like this river, our life must flow onwards. The sun rises and we must tend to our duties. Karuga, where could you be? The morning waits for no one. Could Karuga be near the pool? Thank you, God, for bringing the mysteries of life so near to my homestead. Have the Spirit descended from the mountains? What stirs the reeds from under the water? I must leave this place. Ah! Ah! Karuga! Yes. Come here, my boy. Sit. I have something to tell you. Your mother, Karuga, a spirit as bright as the sun on a clear day. But curiosity, my boy, it can be a fickle flame, leading you down path, shrouded in darkness.
Mama will just disappear, will she?
Your mother, Karuga, she went to the pool one day. And then she just disappeared.
Tell me more. What happened?
The pool, Karuga. It's beautiful, yes, but it holds secrets. Secret best left undisturbed. But your mother, Karuga, she went to the pool and she thought, just a little water. But the spirits from the pool, they don't like to be disturbed.
What happened? Did she drown?
No. Worse. Your father found her. Lifeless like a fallen bird. And then it moved.
No! No, Muthe.
Your father dropped her in fear. And that very night, a sickness gripped him.
What made her?
Your mother, Karuga. Your mother. Your father tried to save her. But the darkness took his very life from his bones. Because he dared tempt what slumbered from beneath the surface.
What made her wander here? Was it curiosity or desperation that led her to the edge of the surface?
The pool, Karuga. It's a beautiful thing. It's both a blessing and a curse. It grants life and then it claims it.
What about you, Muthe? Why do you speak of this now?
My boy, you should honor the unseen. Its powers, but respect its mysteries. I think that's enough teaching for tonight, my boy. Off to your chambers.
Okay. Good night.
What happened? The bull, Karuga. They are disrespecting the domain.
But I saw nothing. No floating bodies, no spirits, just water.
Their ways are unseen, Karuga. Their power lurks from beneath the surface, waiting for the unwary. Didn't you hear my warnings?
Muthe,
The tale of your poor mother.
perhaps that's just that. A cautionary tale to keep a young boy in line.
Do not question my words, boy. Haven't I raised you ever since your parents vanished? Haven't I taken care of you from the unseen dangers of this world?
Muthe, why the secrecy? Why can't I just go and find out for myself?
Curiosity, child. It's like a serpent that coils around the heart and the very last breath from your hands. Karuga, the pool. It's a place where you should not tread lightly. Karuga, are you listening to me?
Yes, Mother. I didn't mean to hurt you. I just wanted to know. And French Mukiana tree roots, the ones that cured old jump, they will make you feel better.
The roots won't cure me,
They
Karuga.
will.
This, it's a deeper sickness. A fear that chills in my very bones. Because you dare tempt fate.
Then, you have cured others. You have chased away illnesses with your powerful medicines and your wisdom. You can't leave me now, please.
Listen well, son. Your spirit, it burns bright like the sun on a clear day. You yearn to see the truth, what lies hidden beneath the pool's surface. I knew this fire in you the day that I took you in, a scared child of 4.
And I haven't strayed. I haven't run off to the city like others. I have stayed by your side, learned from you. And now when the 10 years its end, I can't leave you. Please, tell me the secret, Muthe.
There are things in life, Karuga, that the human eyes cannot see. Only those with pure hearts, untainted by the world's harsh fire, can truly perceive them. These beats, Karuga, they are as old as my own memories. They hold the echoes of something that never dies. They hold the spark of the human soul. When I'm gone, Karuga, they will be your guide. Wear them always, Karuga. And when you finally unveil the mysteries of the pool, when the truth stands naked before you, then and only then, cast them into the deeps. Let them sink to the bottom. A silent offering to the unknown.
These beats, Muthe, they hold a lot of weight. I can feel it.
They do, Karuga. They hold the weight of the past I cannot fully reveal. The past as vast as the sky.
Look them there. Look. A spark in the horizon. Perhaps that's where the secret lies. Off the grasp of these dusty plains. Mwenyenyaga's homestead. A secret lies there too. And then there's the pool. Guardian. The giant Mugumo tree. A place of whispers and shadows.
Promise me, my son. And before that, I tell you that the pool, Karuga, it's a place you should not tread lightly. Mist is veiled by the smearing surface. The tales that the old women tell The 7-horned creatures. They are not just tales for the restless night. They are warnings, Karuga.
And I hear your words. Heed to every word I've given. Muthe, part of me, a fire in my heart, yearns to understand, to see for myself what truly lies beneath the surface of the pool.
Promise me, my son. Promise me you won't let curiosity be your undoing. Let these beads be your guide. And let it be a constant reminder of the past that cannot fully reveal.
I promise. I promise I will wear them always. But Muthe, if the truth about my mother and this land surfing lies beneath the surface of the pool, then I cannot promise to turn away. I'm sorry.
My son.
Yes.
Then go. Go and fulfill your destiny. But remember, true wisdom lies not on what you see, but on how you choose to act upon it. May these beats be your guide, and may your heart remain pure, my son.
Wasn't that an amazing enactment? That comes from chapter 4. Just a round of applause for them again. If you are holding a seat with a bag or a scarf or a jacket, would you please just move that so that we can have anyone who's standing have a place to sit? If you'd like to tell your friends where we are tonight, you can send them the link, Pitch Studios on YouTube. We are live, Pitch Studios YouTube. Thank you. Now over to Hannah Njau Ohono.
Thank you so much. I am grieved to see the people scratch the surface hurriedly and think they have reached the deepest core of the earth, he said one as he sat outside the hut with Karuga. They leave their children starving, they leave their goats dying, they leave their fields unweeded, and they start to climb up a ladder. They scramble for it. They climb high, high up in the sky. Their eyes are dazzled by the new horizon. Then their way begins to darken. They stumble, they fall, their faces are disfigured, their limbs disjointed. They come to the pool, weary, desperate, panicky. But there's no cure. Their time has gone. For this reason, men have deserted me. They can no longer understand my ways. I can no longer sit and talk with them. Words are licked and left by greedy dogs. Karuga was sad that the old man should be deserted during the last days of his life. What had he done to deserve this? He had given so much of himself to the people. He had treated the sick in the village and had never demanded payment from them. But now, when he tried to reason out things with them, they would not listen to him. Was it possible the old man would die and no one would attend his burial? Where was the reward for a good life? No glory at the end of the life of a man who had lived to serve others. No crowds to line the streets. Wasn't that humiliation? Karuga pondered over these things for several weeks. Then one day, he decided to talk to the old man about it. The village is against you, Muthe, he said. We must try to win back their love. Are you ashamed that I will die and no friend or relative will be there to bury me? Do not fear for me, my son. No songs will be sung for me. I am no longer the warrior of the day. That is why you should not look at me. Look at the pool. That is where the mystery of life is. You are at the bottom of the ladder. Dig deeper and deeper at the bottom of it. Then one day you will discover the mysteries I have been talking to you about. But don't you think you ought to talk to the people again and try to bring them to our side? I have no more energy to convince them of the reason for not curing their illnesses anymore. Instead of chatting with them happily as I did when treating their diseases, I ought to have revealed myself to them fully. I ought to have pointed out to them their weaknesses, their jealousies, their malice, their greed, their lust. I ought to have done this long, long ago. They will call me names now. They will condemn me. They will curse me. But I have no grudge against them because I know there is no reward on this life for a life like mine. Thank you.
As we wait for UNTT, you're on again. Traveling Theatre, you're on. And right after them, I am going to ask to have Professor Jennifer Mushiri speak. So if you'd prepare yourself, you'll come on right after the UNTT. Are we ready? May I ask Professor Jennifer Mushiri maybe to come and just take the stand here and speak, as it looks like we need a few minutes for the Traveling Theatre to get themselves prepared. So, Professor, the floor is yours. We would like to hear from you. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Madam Rebeka and your family, friends, and everybody that's gathered here. It's an honor to stand in front of you today to celebrate a wonderful, wonderful female writer. But before I even do that, I'd like, on behalf of the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences, to congratulate the Department of Literature and the other partners who have organized this event, because it's not every day that we meet. And if you look behind you, those who are in front, you can see we are many. It's not every day that you invite people for a reading, for a celebration of a book on a Friday evening. They would rather be doing other things, especially now that Monday is a holiday, isn't it? So it is really, really great to be here and to see all of you here that we've joined together to celebrate. Now, I first read Ripples in the Pool as a third former. And at that time, many, many years ago. My students are wondering, when was that? Many, many years ago. And at that time, I didn't quite understand what Ripples in the Pool was all about. You know, as a teenager, it might be a bit difficult. I think the copy belongs to my father. And definitely the story in Ripples in the Pool wasn't going to compete with what we were reading then, those of my generation, Mills and Boons. Okay? Yes, I'm guilty. It wasn't until I joined the university around second year, I think, and we were reading East African prose, that the text was introduced to me again and began to appreciate what it really meant to read a true story by a true African writer, and in this case, a Kenyan writer, and to begin to appreciate what exactly a story means. And that's why we are here tonight, to celebrate the power of stories, to celebrate the power of storytelling. And the fact that we're actually relaunching the book that was published in 1975, how many years are those? Almost 50, isn't it? You know, that we are gathered here to celebrate a relaunch tells you that it is salient, it is important that we do keep telling our stories. And for that, I congratulate you for giving us that story. I congratulate you for paving the way for other writers, you know, so that today we read and we understand. And we are not just now, I'm no longer the third former, you know, that was reading that story and not understanding it. I'm probably not the same as I was about to say the year, when I was a second year student in the Department of Literature reading Ripples in the Pool. I am much better, and I am a better teacher because I've read such stories, because I have read you and others that have given us those stories. So from me tonight, it is thank you for giving us stories. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor. She is the Associate Dean of the Faculty of Arts at the University of Nairobi. And yes, I do remember Mills and Boons reading. We are some very guilty people over here. I did not get to read Ripples in the Pool until much later in my life, and I could really appreciate it as an older person. Do we have traveling theater? Are we ready for you? Can we turn down the lights? We can have house lights down, and we're good to go. No way. Isn't it wonderful when you have a great-grandmother being honored by her children? That's not just special, it's a blessing, isn't it? Now, I'm also going to ask Professor Musonye if you would come forward. And I am going to ask our esteemed author to come forward. So, Maria, if you would please bring your mother. And can I get help to bring this table slightly forward so that it can be captured? We are live, and I'd like help to have the table brought forward. As they organize themselves, I'm just going to get us to stretch a little bit. I'm seeing a few stiff faces over there. Everyone, please stand up. And you stretch your hands up a little bit, to the side a little bit. And at the end of the countdown, they are going to unveil the book. And can I hear a few? Can I hear a bit of? Yes, that's good. We are ready for some shangwe na vigelegele as we have the unveiling of the book. Do we have the music ready? I'm sure we have some music ready. Hannah, will you do the countdown with everybody? Sure. Okay.
Okay, just do from 5. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
By the book, together with your children, together with Professor Musonye. We'll take a few pictures, and the rest of us, you may take your seats. If you did not get something to drink or something to put in your stomach and you are starving, you can find your way outside, get yourself a cup of tea. If you did, please wait for others who did not. And we will continue with our question and answer session in 5 minutes. come forward, please arrange yourselves here and we will put Rebeka and Njau here. The Mariana Book Club, if you would please come next. We want to jump in one by one very quickly. This is the traveling theater.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, are you ready? Are you ready, traveling theater? Okay. Thank you, traveling theater. Mariana Book Club. Okay. Mariana. This end. Okay, Mariana Book Club. 1, 2, 3. Please smile at the camera. We want this to move as fast as possible. We still have a question and answer. Please smile at the camera. Wonderful. Next, Maria, will you bring in other family members? Okay, we're ready for this one. Thank you. We are going to move on with our program today. Dr. Muleka, are you here? Wonderful. I will ask that we organize the front, the seating area right here so that we can go on and just finish with the last part of our program today. All right, if you would please take your seats, we are going to continue with this session. We have a question and answer session, and then we will call it an evening. We want to thank you so much for joining us. Those who are outside having your cup of tea, please come in. We are going to hear from the author herself. All right, I would like to hand this question and answer session to Professor Muleka. If you would take us through it, thank you.
Yeah, good evening. Now, mine is so simple, really simple. I want to, first of all, start by reminding us of what Achebe has said, Chinua Achebe, in one of his writings, that if you become lucky to climb the Iroko tree, bring down as much firewood as you can. Tonight, we are lucky to just come face to face with our author, Rebeka Njau. And as we learned earlier, we are not always lucky to actually come face to face with the writers. Not always. So we are lucky today. So mine will be to invite questions. Questions that I know many of us have read the book. Many of us have burning questions that, and as I read, I know there are certain curious encounters that you come across. And now that we have the author here, you have to raise those questions. I'll just look for the burning questions because of time. I won't allow too many. And just before I invite the first question, I would like to recognize, and I've been asked to recognize Professor Kithaka Wamberia. I hope he's here. Or he has left. Yeah, because this is one writer that almost all of us have also again read in Kiswahili. So, I start here. I'll invite only burning questions because this is an occasion we don't want to waste. Yeah, because as we say, the horse is own mouth. And I'll invite 2 questions. She will respond, then another 2, and possibly the last 2. There is the first one there, and the second one here. No, the first one because you are closest, and then, so, very brief, yeah, because of time.
Mine is very brief.
Yes.
Rebeka Njau, I would like to ask 2 brief questions. They're very short. All of these questions are touching on the seen versus the unseen, the physical versus the metaphysical, and the real versus the imaginary in the book. The more I read this book, the more I discover that I really don't understand it fully. I first read it when I was in Form 2. And now, maybe several years later, I still see the pool especially. I would like to ask this pointed question. 49 years after it was first released, this book is being released in 2024. How relevant is it to the 16 to 32 year olds? And I'm anchoring this, based on page 134, where Maina, when Karuga wants to go out there and conquer the world for himself, Muthe tells him, you cannot go, you must atone for the wrongs of your relatives. But Maina says, all people want now is eat, drink, get healed, so don't keep on talking about the spirit of the poor. That kind of talk is not helpful. That's my first question. And the second question obviously touches on, well, there are 2 questions. The first question is, how relevant is it to the generation of 2024? And the other one is, what sin or what wrong did Karuga's people do that Muthe insists he must do something about it? Thank you.
Okay, then.
Thank you. I'll make a comment and then I'll also have two brief questions. So thank you to the author, Rebeka Njau, for being in the conference in 1962 and with very renowned authors, and to all the people who are here. To the first question of the age between 16 to 32, even before she answers, I'll just say that I'm in the age gap of 16 to 32, and the book is very relevant to me. This is why I'm going to ask these two questions. The first is on the theme of feminism, or what we call womanism today. And we see that the protagonist, or what we've been told as the iconoclast, Selena, is a lady, and she brings out certain themes, especially that leads to feminism. When Dr. Kitata was speaking about a scholarly analysis, he spoke about labor and Nairobi City in the 1970s, mostly being linked to men and for them coming into work. He also spoke about women being in the village, and of course Nairobi was not for us. My first question is this. On the issue of domestic work, which even in this scholarly analysis is not seen as work. The domestic work that women do when it comes to raising children, which is work, when it comes to all household work that women do, and it is only because we are women and we are in a patriarchal world that this is not defined as work, and it is not defined as economically remunerable. What is the role of this work of women that is not recognized even today, more than 25 years after you launched the book in 1975? Also, on issues of feminism, when we see Selena, she's a model and she's also called, and I put it in quote and quotes, a prostitute. But prostitution is also brought about by capitalism, by poverty, and it is the only way in which women can fend for themselves. So why is it that we do not speak about the main themes that actually affect women of capitalism, as opposed to what we are talking about, prostitution, which really just goes about to cast down the woman more? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'll then give it to Rebeka to respond. And by the way, the reason I wanted to recognize Kithaka Mberia being a writer also, you know, and of course many of us are writers, we can still come in and put weight on some of the questions. Yeah. Yeah. For example, if we were to talk about relevance, we still read Shakespeare, who lived in 1561. Okay. So, okay.
You know, I was born to write, not to speak. Therefore, I think I will not be able to talk. Read my book. There were people who read that book as soon as I finished reading it. One of them, and he was a clergyman, he said, "Have you written this book?" I said, "Yes." I thought, "It's your husband. How can you write a book like this?" You see this kind of thing of looking at a woman, you know, you have no brain, you have no brain. Me, I want to show my brain in what I have written. I cannot.
How long did it take you to write this book, Mom?
Well, this was the fastest book for me. It took me took me about not even a year, because during the time I was writing it, I was really feeling bad about myself and about the world and about everything. And I thought of expressing myself. So the words came out of myself. Sometimes I wondered whether I really wrote that book. But I'm very grateful that I was able to write it. So when it was over, I have told you, somebody said, you know, somebody has written it for you. And you want to try me. All these questions that are not useful. Now I have a book I'm trying to finish. It's halfway. I cannot confuse my head with other things like answering questions.
Thank you. And we know that writing actually enables us to go deep into ourselves and express ourselves. And I know literally people here know that when we talk about reader-response theory, there is the writer and there's also the reader, and both are free to interpret the world the way they feel. So those of us who have read this book, we also have the freedom to interpret it the way we want, because we are also writers as we read the very book. So the writer, the author is right to possibly decide that some of these questions might not necessarily be asking for answers. Yes, what do you say, Professor?
No, I just wanted to say something connected to what you've said. I'm not asking a question. I'm just making a comment that there is something that we call intentional fallacy. This is where we readers want to say maybe the writer was saying A, B, C, and D. And usually, as critics, we say, sometimes some of those statements are irrelevant, because in most cases, we will never get access to an author to ask, what was your intention? That's one. Number two, even when we ask an author, what was your intention or what did you think? Maybe the author had a totally different intention. So sometimes the debate, the thing is about a text, once it is out, it's usually actually independent of the author. It takes a life of its own, and that's why this text was relevant in 1975. Today, it's still relevant and might be relevant in another still 50 years. We'll still be talking about it because it has a life of its own. Thank you. I'm only saying that to say, we talk about the text, even the author may say whatever, but we continue to talk about it.
Thank you so much. Then I guess what Professor Msonya has said brings me to this conclusion that the questions that are going to be useful to us here in this audience is to ask, because we also aspire to be writers, others have written, and it would be healthy to try and find out what is it that motivates a writer, what is it that gives guidance to a writer, and so on. Because already Dr. Kitata gave a critique of the book, and this is a book we have read and taught and so on, which means it remains relevant to us. After all, the book talks about love, it talks about anger, it talks about, and all these things don't get old, they don't. Because anger in the 70s, hatred in the 70s, love in the 70s still remains relevant today. And that is why, as I say, we read Shakespeare, who wrote during the Renaissance period.
Excuse me, let us read the 134, because you seem to be making the question irrelevant. It's very relevant. What I want to know here is simple.
I gave you a time.
Okay, excuse me. Excuse me.
Yes.
No. On page 134,
yeah.
This is what the author says, and I think it is important for us to read it. I believe I have eyes and ears of society. I'm a journalist and an arts critic. And when we write things that are supposed to help change society or set what you can say the agenda. So it is bad to try and wriggle away from that. All I want to say is the question was very simple. Karuga wants to go to Kamukwa to help Gikere, but they won't hear of it because he says, Karuga must address what his relatives did to the villagers. So eventually Maina says this: men want to eat, men want to drink, men want to have their diseases healed, men want to forget their miseries. That is all they want today. That is what the village wants. There is no more fear of the power of the unseen. The past is gone and forgotten. So do not talk about the spirits of the pool. That kind of talk is meaningless today. Let the boy go. So we are not trying to say anger, love, hunger, and I think because Shakespeare wrote about them, it will always be relevant. We are not talking about the Bible here. We are talking about a book that delves into the spiritual and the real, that talks about the physical and the metaphysical.
So what question do you have for her?
My question is simple.
Specifically, just straight up.
Yeah. I asked about the relevance. I'm not the one who is asking about its relevance.
Okay.
The villagers don't see how relevant it is. Maina does not see how relevant it is. So how relevant is it? Because it has been reproduced exactly the same manner it was produced in 1975 in 2024.
So
that's my question.
The
relevance of this book to the current generation when you talk about the spiritual and the real world.
You know what? Can I just answer this?
Yes, please.
And then my mom would like to say thank you to everyone.
Yeah.
I remember when she wrote this book in 1975, she was actually going through, it was at the height of her marriage falling apart from my father. So it's a creative, she gave birth to this book during a very trying time in her life when she was working at Target newspaper. We had just moved here from Tanzania. My brother and I were in primary school trying to settle down as the wife of an artist who was running Payapa Art Gallery. She was trying to find ways to get us settled in school. This was her creative outlet. I would find her at night writing, sometimes in tears. So the fact that this book is back on the shelves almost 50 years after it was written means that it's relevant today. There's a reason why I got an email sent to me at my place of employment in the United States from a gentleman in South Africa who was also based in London, asking for rights to publish this book, asking for ways in which we could have the rights reverted if they had been reverted, because he wanted this book back, because he called it iconic. And so it's, to me, he actually said he wants this book to be the headliner of, out of the 300 African Writers series books. He worked extremely hard to get it done. So for me, the relevance, and I'm really happy about the scholarly analysis because Professor Kitata touched on gender. When I studied the book at Hunter College in the 1980s, it was essential reading in the Black and Puerto Rican Studies Department as part of City University of New York. And I was a young girl in college, and a lot of the African American students, and not just African American students, just students in general of African literature saw themselves in Selena, saw themselves in Gashiro, saw themselves in the book because of how she writes. She's a poet first. She writes beautifully. She writes in English, but you can see that the Guka in her. You can see her heritage in the way she writes. And that's why that book is back on the shelf. So the relevance, it's one of those classics. When he refers to Shakespeare, it's because it's a classic work. And it belongs to the world right now. And my mother, I really have to say, she's more of a writer, not really somebody who talks. I have been videotaping her in secret because I want to memorialize her stories. But I'm very grateful for everyone who came this evening and the performances. Mom was spellbound, and I'm really, really, Mom, would you like to add to that?
Well, thank you very much. And I also want to thank everybody who has come here. They have shown me appreciation of my work. The journalists here, please don't get angry with me because I had no answers at the moment. Maybe sometimes later I might. So thank you very much. I'm very happy.
I think that settles it. And I'm sure the reason we still teach this book in our classes, in our literature classes, is because it remains relevant. Now, 2 other responses, and then I'll close the session. Because I had created 6 slots and 2 have been swallowed. Yeah.
I think for me, I just wanted to add on to what you said. There's something I came across just for everyone in general. It says, saying a work of art, saying an artwork is good or bad, relevant or irrelevant, is problematic because it denies art's inherent value. All art is valid because it's a part of someone's journey. It's not good or bad. It resonates with you. It's not good or bad whether it resonates with you or it doesn't. So you just accept it as is.
In that vein, I want to thank the journalist for bringing up the issue of relevance, and I also want to thank Maina for the way he has given us the answer to issues of relevance. So I think we are now at par. The last, okay.
Thank you very much. I think my question is already answered, but I just find it so helpful to talk to you and to have the opportunity to speak with you here. One of your protagonists in the book explains to the young man when he stands on the ladder to dig deeper. And I was thinking, I've listened to so many wise words, but it's always about rising up. You've mentioned Achebe, if you can climb a tree, so why should I dig deeper? I think from your last comment I have understood I will dig deeper. Thank you very much.
Thank you, because that was a comment. Is there a question? Very brief. There's also a comment.
Yes, thank you so much. I really want to thank the author for being here. If I was old, I wouldn't be coming out. I'll be sleeping at 7 p.m. So you're really disturbing now. I really want to thank her. And I really hope that Hannah will make the book always there on the bookshelves, because it's been out of print for a long time. And I'm so happy to see it. And I hope it really stays on the shelves for me. So, as critics, that's one thing I learned in the literature class that I'm so proud of, that you can't look at the book morally. Like, when you look at the book morally, according to like morals or relevance, it becomes problematic. As just as you said, there are so many angles of looking at the book, and it's not always that one thing that we have to base on. Thank you. Have a nice day.
That is very, very good advice to us. Let us look at works of literature as works of art, not works that are supposed to necessarily.
Space tomorrow morning for an exam. So in as much as you would like to stay around and have another cup of tea and some more conversation, we will ask you to make that quick, because we promised them that we would be out of here by 9 o'clock. Professors and doctors who have graced this occasion with your presence, to the students, we know there are many other things that you would have been doing on Friday nights, but you have come, and so we want to say thank you for accepting this invitation. To family of Rebeka and Njau who are here, thank you. To her dear friends, thank you. To extended family, thank you. To those of you who had nothing to do today and you heard that there was someone speaking and a book and tea and mandazis and just finding your way in here, thank you. So make sure you get yourself a book. With this, we wish you good night on behalf of the organizers. We wish you a good night. We wish you a safe journey home. Get yourself a book as you walk out, and God bless you.
Yes, I have a pen. Morita is not say a pen, but the book is right. Can I push you out? I want to get my book club. Hi. Oh, you want to take a picture of the book club? Oh, okay. We're recording. We're recording. He says we are. Oh. The other side?
On which side?
No, we're trying to get her in the
picture here.
So we don't want her to stand up.
Okay.
We don't want her to stand up because she's tired. We don't want her to stand up because she's tired. Just come.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Mom. Okay. Here we go. Hold it. Huh? Yes, ma'am. My name is James. James.
Sorry. Keep recording.
Thank you.
End the stream.